On June 12, 2026, something happened that had never happened before in human history. For the first time ever, one person's net worth crossed $1 trillion. That person was Elon Musk. Not a country, not a company, one man. So how does anyone actually become worth $1 trillion? The answer has almost nothing to do with a salary and almost everything to do with how modern wealth really works. For years, the single biggest piece of Musk's fortune was locked away. His rocket company, SpaceX, was private. That meant its shares could not be freely bought or sold, and its real value was just an estimate. Then, on June 12th, that changed. SpaceX went public. It listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker SPCX. The shares were priced at $135 each. And the moment trading began, the market valued the entire company at around $1.77 trillion. It was the largest initial public offering in history. Here is the part most people miss. An IPO does not create new money out of thin air. What it does is turn private, frozen ownership into public, tradable shares with a clear price tag. Before the IPO, Musk's stake in SpaceX was valuable, but hard to measure, and even harder to sell. After the IPO, that same stake had a live market price, updated every second. Musk owns roughly 38% of SpaceX. At a $1.77 trillion valuation, that slice alone was suddenly worth about $800 billion. But SpaceX is only one part of the empire. Let's add it all up. SpaceX, around $800 billion. Tesla, where Musk holds both stock and options, roughly $300 billion. And xAI, his artificial intelligence company, valued at $250 billion before it was folded into the SpaceX deal. Stack those together, and you cross $1 trillion. Everything else, from X to Neuralink to the Boring Company, at this scale, is almost a rounding error. To understand how fast this happened, consider this. In 2026 alone, Musk's net worth grew by around $400 billion. That works out to roughly $29,000 per second. More than most people earn in an entire year, every single second. But here is the most important thing to understand, and the part headlines almost always skip. This is not cash. Musk does not have $1 trillion sitting in a bank account. Almost all of it is stock, ownership in companies. It only becomes real money if he sells. And selling huge amounts would push the price down and trigger enormous taxes. On paper, he is the richest human in history. In his actual bank account, the number is far, far smaller. So what does $1 trillion net worth really tell us? It tells us less about one man's bank balance and more about how wealth is built at the very top. It is not earned one paycheck at a time. It is owned, concentrated in a few fast-growing companies, and then unlocked, all at once, by a single market event. Elon Musk did not get $1 trillion bonus on June 12th. The market simply put a price on what he already owned. And that is the real mechanics of money. At this level, you don't get rich by being paid. You get rich by owning the thing everyone else wants to buy.